Our top story first. Tech startups in Bengaluru saw a whopping 40% drop in VC funding in the first 9 months of 2025 in comparison to the same period last year. This according to data from market research firm Traxcn. Now, these startups, Traxcn's report says, raised a total of $2.7 billion between January and September, in stark contrast to $4.5 billion last year. In fact, a large chunk of these funds was raised in the first half of the calendar year. That's around $1.7 billion. Still a 44% drop when compared to H1 of 2024 and 30% lower than the second half of last year. Now, of the $2.7 billion raised so far this year, seed stage funds were approximately $141 million, early stage funds were around $611 million, and late stage funds lay in the range of $930 million. Now, here's where funding this year has struggled. According to Traxcn, it's the large rounds that have taken the biggest hit. The report says funding rounds above $100 million shrank significantly. Only 2 of them took place within the first 9 months of 2025, compared to 9 such rounds in the same period last year. IPOs dropped too. There were just 2 IPOs in January to September, compared to 6 in the corresponding period last year. So the question that's on everyone's mind now is simply this: why has there been a drop in funding through 3/4 of 2025? It's been largely attributed to a collapse in large and late-stage rounds and a marked reluctance by investors to write out big checks. This is largely reflective of a noticeable shift in investor sentiments and well-documented cautiousness in late-stage private equity. Staying with startups then, Bengaluru-based space tech startup Graha Space has received authorization from the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center, or INSpace, to launch its maiden nano-satellite mission, Solaris S2. The launch, which is scheduled for the end of November, will take place at the Alcantara Space Center in Brazil through the hand-built nano-launch vehicle developed by South Korea-based Aerospace. Graha is backed by the Viscan group of companies and incubated at the Space Technology Incubation and Innovation Center, located within the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology in Thiruvananthapuram. From startups to politics now, AIADMK heavyweight and 9-time Tamil Nadu MLA K.A. Sengottaiyan has quit as legislator. Earlier this year, the AIADMK veteran was removed from all party posts and later expelled from the party for making appearances with rebel AIADMK leaders. The now former MLA met with Tamil Nadu Assembly Speaker M. Appavu and handed in his resignation. And while he remained tight-lipped, speculations are rife that the long-time MLA is now all set to join actor Vijay's Tamilaga Vetri Karagam, or TBK. Now, if this does happen, it will make a world of difference to Vijay's political debut, as Sengottaiyan's presence may well provide a strong foothold to the party in the western region of Tamil Nadu. After all, the AIADMK veteran has been voted a record 8 times from the Gobichettipalayam constituency, aside from one stint as MLA from Satyamangalam. Both regions lie in western Tamil Nadu. In fact, my colleague Dharani now joins us with the latest from the Sengottaiyan resignation saga. Dharani, what are you picking up from the ground?
Veteran leader K. Sengottaiyan submitted his resignation from his MLA post to Speaker Appavu today. This happened in the Tamil Nadu Secretariat around 12 p.m. in the afternoon. There are speculations that Sengottaiyan will be joining Vijay's Tamilaga Vetri either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So this comes in the backdrop of him getting expelled from AIADMK by AIADMK's General Secretary Edappadi Palaniswamy. Remember, 2 months back, Sengottaiyan urged for unified AIADMK. He told that leaders such as V.K. Sashikala, TTV Dinakaran and OPS, they should be reinducted into AIADMK, and that is how the AIADMK can win over DMK is what he said. But Edappadi Palaniswamy, the top man in that party, he refused to accept this request. He refused to pay heed to the suggestion. In fact, Edappadi Palaniswamy went on to expel Sengottaiyan from the party. Sengottaiyan was removed from the primary membership of AIADMK almost a month back, and for the past 1 month he's been not associated with any other political party. And for the past 3-4 days, speculations were getting more and more rife that Sengottaiyan is likely to join Vijay's Tamilaga Vetri Kalagam, and with today's resignation, it is only signaling that this speculation is going to be true, because of course is no need for Sengottaiyan to resign his MLA post if not for his launch into any other political party. So today's resignation from the MLA post in Gobichittipalayam, this only signals that Sengottaiyan is all set to join Vijay's Tamil Nadu Kalagam. But on the other hand, we're also getting information from the ruling DMK that the DMK is also keeping an eye on Mr. Sengottaiyan. In fact, they are sending out feelers and they are interested in having Sengottaiyan in their fold. So the DMK is also on one hand trying to pull Sengottaiyan towards their side, but Sengottaiyan remains defiant on his decision. He is decided to join TVK, and in the next few days we can see him joining the yellow and the red flag on his shoulders.
Right. On to news from the mobility space now. A couple of months ago, Chennai-based EV charging point operator Relux Electric embarked on a feasibility study as it hoped to build 500 EV charging stations across Tamil Nadu. In a chat with ET Now, the company's MD and CEO has said that 158 out of these proposed locations have been identified and included in its report, which Relux has submitted to the Tamil Nadu government. The company says it is prioritizing transport hubs and larger industrial enclaves and partnering with multiple corporations and municipalities to build its proposed EV charging infra. I caught up with Relux's CEO Karthikeyan Santaram to get the lowdown on the company's plan. Listen in.
So we started working with transport department now. We have surveyed around 300 locations in these 2 months. And we have done our feasibility report and submitted to government. So, and this feasibility study is mainly on public charging stations. So, in order to set up a public charging station which is accessible for public everywhere, like bus depots, transports, bus stands, anywhere, pilgrims, tourist places, all government places or government-owned places where the feasibility is for public charging station. It is not a captive or allotted for public particular users. No, it is open for everyone. And it caters two-wheeler, three-wheeler cars, buses. Right. So everything.
Right. So as on date, it's 2 months since, of course, that understanding was inked. How many potential locations have Relux unearthed, identified, and could potentially serve as some of these 500 charging stations that you hope to roll out across the state? And in which locations have you unearthed these potential locations?
Yeah, so we have done surveys across Tamil Nadu on Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities as on date. So like Chennai, Madurai, Trichy, and Tuticorin, Tirunelveli. So we have done a part. Now we concentrated only transport department assets as a first phase. So now we are discussing with other corporations also, like Chennai Greater Chennai Corporation, Coimbatore Municipal Corporations. So all the corporations we are giving priority. And we are parallelly working with other departments like HRC and TTDCs. So we are working with everyone. As on date, we have identified around 158 locations which is feasible for public charging stations. Okay. And again, we have submitted our report. So the government has to take a call with their internal decisions.
Right. What's also interesting about this partnership between Relux and the Tamil Nadu government is that it's perhaps for the first time that a charging point operator is going to be involved in terms of scouting and looking at potential locations to set up this kind of infrastructure across an entire state. How significant is this in the process of setting up EV infrastructure going forward?
Yeah, so see, coming to my state always have a different model. So, which is useful for the public. So that's the reason the government has decided to give the charge point operator who knows the pros and cons of the field. So if we outsource a feasibility study with third-party vendor or somebody who doesn't know business, so they just do the feasibility study only as a feasibility study which is in SOP. So we are doing the feasibility study more than the SOP, more than what the government needs. So because we need more participation towards tender. So we are seeing a lot of tenders which doesn't have participants in this EV charging infrastructure fields across India. Right. So our government doesn't want that. So they want a lot of tender participants. So based on that only they have assigned us.
Absolutely. Now going forward, I know 500 is a large number. What kind of timeline are you looking at to go about completing this study, planning for the infrastructure we set up, and completing the construction and installation of these EV charging stations? What is the timeline that you foresee for the entire process to have taken place?
See, feasibility study we are looking for next within March we want to complete. So after that it will be via face-to-face tenders for this 500. It will be department to department, location to location, that government has to decide on that particular point. We started with the first phase in Greater Chennai Corporation. So again we want the tender for 9 locations. Marina Beach, Astalashmi Temple, all 9 premium locations in Chennai.
Okay. And moving forward itself, you are of course starting with the transport department, that's where you are at, but you also see potential of IT parks, SIPCOTs, LCOTs, other key industrial facilities as well to set up public charging stations. So how does that work in terms of finding a location and thereby deciding that this is suitable for a public charging infrastructure?
See, Tamil Nadu Green Energy has taken a very big initiative and they are coordinating us. They have given all the department communications and Tamil Nadu Green Energy has dedicatedly assigned a team for this. So wherever we are getting some feasibility studies, tracking in this feasibility study, government department letters, approvals, permissions has been required, Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation is assisting us. So the main point is Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation is assisting with all the internal government departments and they are making this feasibility study as really feasible.
Okay. Last question before I let you go. What will this do to the state's overall charging infrastructure? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the statistics say that Tamil Nadu has about 1,300 EV charging stations as things stand. This is going to be 500 more that will be added to it. How is this set to change the face of Tamil Nadu's EV charging infrastructure network?
Yeah, see, Tamil Nadu is always a manufacturing hub, Detroit of Asia. Everyone knows it. And all the EV manufacturing hub is there. So when you go for manufacturing, infrastructure has to build up. So comparatively, charging infrastructure will be a good thing. And now our government is also working on revision of prices, tariffs, a lot of things are going on. Now they are forming this solar wheeling, BESS. So government is working on various other aspects to build the CV infrastructure majorly. So the pros and cons, analyzing it. And in next 5 years, probably will be the #1 state in the CV charging infrastructure with the reliability.
On to Telangana now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Hyderabad today to inaugurate Safran Aircraft Engine Services MRO facility located at the GMR Aerospace and Industrial Park near the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. The facility in question will carry out maintenance, repair and overhaul operations for LEAP engines which power the Airbus A320neo and the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. The facility is spread across 45,000 square meters and was set up with an initial investment of 1,300 crore rupees. It has been built to service up to 300 LEAP engines annually and is seen as a major investment towards India's Atmanirbhar drive. Staffed by a team of 1,000 technicians, the MRO unit will hit maximum capacity by 2035. And staying with news from Telangana, Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has said the state is in talks with e-commerce giant Amazon to sell products made by the state's women artisans with the hope that it reaches international shores. Addressing a crowd at a recent event, the Chief Minister said the government was doing all it could to enable women artisans in the state to market their products better and that the government was holding discussions with Amazon to sell these products in international markets.